Okay, so this is our new Panda warmer. For keeping it clean, we just need to go through a few things. There's a few more layers underneath the warmer that we will need to go through. So a few things. The first thing I want to do is we just want to take off all this extraneous stuff. We'll take them layer by layer, so it's good if you have the bedside table. You can wipe this down with your cleaning cloth and then let it sit to decontaminate, and then when we put it back together, re-wipe it down. It's really important to try and get all of the cleaner off because it can change the color of the plastic. And it can make it less stable, I guess. So then you're going to clean this layer, so this little piece comes off, and you can wipe it down and put it at the side. This is the scale. So the scale, there is a little piece we have to undo here, and it's just a pull pin. You just pull it out, and then when we reattach it, we just make sure that red dot is at the top. And then if you need to, if it was a really messy resuscitation, there's also a little button behind this one. You can push it and lift it, and to get it back in, you just push it in. It's a very tiny gray button back here. I'm just putting the light on. That button here you would push, and it'll release this one so you can clean it off. And then you can actually just like totally lift the whole scale out and wipe it down. And then there's a lot of little different trays for the stuff we like to collect, like IV catheters and you know, alcohol wipes. So then you can wipe this all down. If it gets really messy on the sides, you can take the drawers off and you just push this gray button and it releases a pin, and you can undo it. You can wipe off. This is hard, so you shouldn't get stuff in these little compartments. To put it back on, they're really heavy, so if you can support it while you're putting it on, then it's back on. But this is different than our old one. They just slide down versus sliding in, okay? The bigger ones on the side, they work the same way, but they're a lot heavier because they're twice the amount of size. They just pop off and you can clean them. Put them back in. Sometimes this is a two-handed job. And then they're working. You can turn it on. You can't just, we used to be able to raise it. I think we could raise the old one without actually having the, it turned on, but it doesn't work if it's turned on, so you, off. So you can use the pedals to get it to the height that you want it to be so that it's comfortable, and then you can clean it all off. And when you put it all back together, you're gonna just make sure you wipe all of the residue off, and we just put it back in the oven and cook it off. So the first thing is the scale. That red little dot goes to the top, so you can just pop it in there. So one thing the nurses will have to check as well. It's a push pin. This is in the way. This is disposable, so we'll check it if we've used it on a baby. There we go. Should be in. So a new one will have to be given every time. And then we can put this back in. The layer, this is actually where the x-ray tray would go. And then it's funny, but the seam goes up. So normally you would want to have the seam down, but this one is meant for the seam to be up. And then you can make it like you normally do.